Oh, greater. I've decided these are my journal entries. I don't necessarily need to do a whole intro. A whole Matakias and Namaste relations. I'm talking to myself. And acknowledging our higher power. Basically, sharing my day and my insights. So, man, it feels good to begin stepping into my spiritual boot camp. I remember the times I had the beautiful opportunity the blessed opportunity to take others through the boot camp. Anyway, so technically, what's today? Wednesday. This would be day 2. And did not even try to go to the river this morning. Wanted to, but it's getting darker, or it's staying darker longer in the morning, and it's getting darker earlier in the evening. And yeah, so, but did my practices this morning. Getting on with the fire family this morning. And meditation with Sadhguru. Taking Rashini on his adventure, which we went to the dog park and delivered our prayer stone that I've been loving. It's so fun. I just never know what's going to come through. And with the little Sharpies, it makes it really sweet. I can get a lot more little detail. And here's the really cool thing. I don't have to carry a big bag. All I gotta do is carry this little bag. Inside the Kahoo bag, which is a combination of supplies for me and Rashini. So that makes the load a lot lighter. I do miss the drum, having the drum though. Anyway, and it feels really good, as if I'm beginning to come back to myself, or expand myself. Not even really sure how to describe it. So, and we had the food thingy at the American Legion, and the people down there are so kind, and they're like, "Hey, ma'am," like, "Hey." They come in, it seems like maybe once a month now, but this time they had a lot of really good stuff. Even got a loaf of Ezekiel bread. Had this beautiful kale mushroom lasagna thing, which was from Sprouts. And yes, I turned the oven on for that. I had to cook her up and heat her up real nice. Oh, that was very, very delicious. And so there has been the no sugar, just the 1 cup of coffee in the morning. And well, the pieces of the lasagna, that was some processed foods, but not really. But there were plums. There's these things that are like between a plum and an apricot. I had to look it up. I'm like, what are these things? I thought that was picking up a thing of plums because they let me kind of self-choose. And they did have water. It's not alkaline water, but hey, it was water. And something I can put up and have as a backup when necessary. And it's the little bottle fits so nice in the Rashini eye bag, a little travel bag, a little backpack. So let's see, they had that and a couple of peaches, the kale mushroom bake, lasagna thing, the Ezekiel bread, bananas, I don't know, but it was fun, and they were so sweet. And then we went on down to the dog park, delivered the prayer stone, and we made it to the post office. With it getting, we're kind of in the midst of a cool down, so it hadn't gotten over 100 degrees yet for Rashini, and we made it to the post office. They hadn't opened yet, but then it was like, oh my gosh, they have like this little self-service machine. All I need is some stamps. So I did the whole self-service thing, and we got out of there, got back to do my class, some class work, and so got the class work in, some yoga, Sadhguru, and then I was able to make it on to my grandmother call, first time in several weeks, been able to make it on there. So it was such a perfect and beautiful one. I really loved listening to them today. It was like, yeah. And it got towards the end, and it was like, you know, it's interesting where you can kind of, not that any of them are not authentic. We got to this one point, and it was kind of like, yeah, okay. and I found myself not even wanting to listen. And then one of the other grandmothers came on, and you know, she has like 15 years of living in community, intentional community, and I was like, oh yeah, I could listen to you. and so that was really sweet. Did not get an opportunity for myself to share, and my service was kind of, I dropped off a few times and so forth, so my service wasn't quite there. However, I believe I ought to be able to get the Starlink back up next week. I gotta check the date as to when my renewal is. So, and then be extremely mindful of how and when I'm using it. And at the same time, instead of the post office, the 10 o'clock mark, we've got a couple more cooler days where the temperatures shall be staying below 90 degrees. Of course, the humidity with the storm coming in and now we have a flood watch, so may not get anywhere at all. But, excuse me, I ought to be able to make it down to T-Mobile and see about switching my service. And I have a feeling, since T-Mobile and Starlink work so closely together, it's probably going to be much better service, and definitely will be more nationwide, or broader, even broader, if I get an opportunity to travel out of the country at some point in time. I'm looking not only in the right here, but I'm also looking into the future. So, of course, we have the big shift thing taking place, and we'll see. I don't see us going back to the Stone Ages. However, things may be different. So I'm excited to go check out a Iron Pony tomorrow, and I'm grateful for the credit union and being a long-standing member with them. And they're just so willing to work with me. And you know, there's like, we can finagle this way, or this way. I'm just so grateful. Yes, I could probably check out a credit union here, and I may do that for some other things. However, just getting my feet kind of back on the ground, so to speak, I'm really grateful to work with my credit union. They have been amazing over all of these years. So, very grateful for that. And then worked on my projects, kept the focus, worked on the projects, got a good swimming, got a good dancing. Have not started my Capiero yet. I need to get started on my Capiero, but I'm building piece by piece. So today was only day 2, and there was you know, a few pieces to add in today and to make sure I honed in on, especially in this 36-hour window with the planetary alignment. I've got like 6 of them running in my head right now, so it's like, which one do I pick? With some things because I went back over all of the retrogrades. You know, we have Pluto in retrograde. We have, well, let me see. I have it right here. We have, of course, now I need a flashlight. So we have Pluto in retrograde until October 14th. We have Saturn in retrograde, and Saturn has taken in retrograde, but mostly in Aries. Actually, almost all of Saturn in Aries. It makes this like a conjunction type of thing with Neptune for a little while, but Saturn in retrograde in Aries until November 27th. have the Venus Chiron. That's a stage of something else. Chiron goes retrograde, is in retrograde in Aries for 5 months. And so, of course, then Mercury joined. There was a period of time where we had Mercury, Pluto, and Saturn all in retrograde. And so, yeah, we have quite a few. This is like a once in a, well, definitely a lifetime, if not more than one lifetime, to have that many planets, and those prominent planets, the very that have a very strong magnetic pull in retrograde all at one time, along with quite a few other things taking place. And of course, then we're also in between the definitely the eclipse. We're getting ready to move into that. So, yay, it's been such exciting times, And then we have Atlas coming through. Hey. And Atlas, it's definitely been prophesized. Anyway, so I've been kind of going through all of that, and some of my homework, and a couple of my projects, and well, very, very grateful. As I shared, it was like that little slap, so to speak, that I had received. I know it was not meant as a slap. It was basically meant as a elder warning, kind of an elder wisdom warning, and absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And so, yeah, very exciting. I'm grateful for that process, and yeah, really kind of honing in and going, yeah, this is what I came here for. Now, on top of that, oh my gosh, I had this beautiful, I've always wanted to go to Australia, right? Always wanted to go to Australia. I have this thing for Australia. I've had this thing for Australia since I was yay high. I had koala bears everywhere. I collected koala bears. I remember when a koala bear came to the Cincinnati Zoo, and my parents and my grandparents made a special trip, and I think we did it twice. We took the Girl Scout troop as well to go visit this koala because, I was obsessed with koala bears and Michael Jackson and Cher. So, and I swore I was born on the wrong planet. I'm like, I'm supposed to be born in Australia. What am I doing here? And with this family, right? I just couldn't figure it out for the longest time. Anyway, so I get this spirit was like, I have a pact with, well, spirit, you know that. The first thing that comes up in my news feed, I pay attention. And, well, today was brought to my awareness. This Dolores lady and some kind of channeling thing that she would do, like Edgar Casey or something like that. And it was sharing, the safest place during the big shift. Well, obviously the safest place during the big shift is your resonance, your connection with spirit, and trusting in that and following that guidance. That's the safest space, because that's what's going to bring you into the new world, so to speak. Well, then the other was having to do with how much karma is on the land, tectonic plates, the spiritual consciousness. There was a couple other things. So, of course, the Americas have so much karma and disharmony that, and of course, the tectonic plates, Then you have Europe. Well, Europe was the cause of a lot of the karmic stuff around the world, along with their own rise and fall of many, many empires. And they went into a little bit deeper, especially in certain areas. And then Africa, well, Africa's getting ready to split apart. However, they also have a lot of karmic, different things going on, and you'd have to watch it. I'm not going to try to explain every little piece. So then Asia has its own situation, and they explained through those pieces. And so it came down to Australia. Now, that doesn't mean you get up and move to Australia. However, Australia, the way it was explained, is like the Noah's Ark for the seeds, animals, a lot of the different, like the restart for the new world, so to speak. And you have, and I'm probably not going to say it correctly. You would think I would know, but I see it. And I have seen it. I saw it when I was a little girl. That it starts with a U. I want to say Ubuntu. Ubulu. And yeah. And I'm going, part of me was thinking like Sri Lanka too, when they were going through. But then I'm like, you tell me it's Australia. And I had to hug myself and go, oh my gosh, is this the reason I have had such a fascination with Australia ever since I was a little girl? I don't know. I know I have tried to travel to Australia a couple times. When I got my very first passport after my divorce, the first thing I did as my Christmas present or my birthday present to myself was I got my passport. I wasn't allowed to travel out of the country, but I didn't travel a lot of different places. The only real places we traveled to was he took me to Sedona, and that began something for me, right? That was like the precursor to my awakening with the drum circle. It was kind of like a warm-up, and then boom. I think I think I fell into a deeper depression after that. Anyway, and then that's a whole other story. But anyway, first thing I did was I get my passport. And at the time, my biological mom and I had a really good relationship. She was on the healing path herself. She was witnessing me and was kind of coming along for the ride. And we had developed this amazing relationship, actually. Anyway, so she's like, we're gonna go somewhere. Where do you want to go? Anywhere you want to go. And I said, I want to go to Australia. So we look up Australia. And there was just no way. I mean, you get all the way over there. It's like you want the whole 30 days. And I couldn't take 30 days from the doghouse. I had maximum 2 weeks. So I was the founder, owner, operator, the whole 9 yards. But I had somebody there that was going to take care of all the dogs for me for that 2 weeks. And it was just certain dogs. I knew which dogs could be handled and could not be handled by this individual. So it's like, well, we'll have to do this another time when I can take a whole month, right? I'll just have to shut down the dog, save up and shut the doghouse down for a whole month and take this trip to Australia. So we had it all worked out, and it was a talk thing too. So then the second choice, India, and I may not come back. And she's like, well, I'm not taking you somewhere where you're not going to come back from. I'm like, okay. So I opened up the talk book, and actually I did one of those floop, 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 flipping the pages, and where it landed was Costa Rica. So we did this amazing, beautiful adventure talk trip to Costa Rica, and it was priceless, definitely priceless in many, 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 many different ways. However, yeah, I mean, to travel the world, absolutely, that would be fantastic. I still have the peregrination from Mexico all the way down through. Maybe that will take place one day down to the south tip of South America. Maybe not. Maybe I did it vicariously through the peace and dignity journey and being the grandma, their spirit, and that prayer time and so forth. The staff that, however, Australia, just very, very interesting. So I'm getting close to my time. I want to keep it at 30 minutes, give or take 30 minutes. So thank you for the kind of day and reconnecting with the grandmothers and me, and the beginning of this spiritual boot camp.